Philadelphia Eagles have gone from Chase versus Pitts to PS2 versus Jaycee Horn. I've said it numerous times, both players are incredible athletes and prospects, but there can only be one number 12 selection. So I did a video about my opinion on Jaycee Horn, and while I didn't do a full video for Patrick Surtain, in the first couple minutes I'm going to go over his full strengths and weaknesses, then we'll get into the nitty gritty. And I'll tell you who the Eagles should take at number 12. Hit that like, subscribe, ring the bell to get notified. Ball.
Fly was flying on the team. Touchdown. Time to get Jaylen this ring. You don't really want to start a thing. This a bird gang nation, baby. It's a Philly thing. Hater, and you looking like you type trash. I'm just here calling on Philly the podcast. And we can call a man dog or watch Miles score off the handoff. Rest of the division, your man saw Jackson like Sean, hunting like Randall. Season here, early time to do them in. Your boy Philly Fresco. Thanks for tuning in.
What's going on, you guys? It's your boy Joe Castro, aka Philly Fresco, and it is Philly the podcast. So you guys have asked for Patrick Surtain versus Jaycee Horn. Let's do it. We're going to do this, all right? So, 21 years old, 6'2", 200 pounds, Patrick Surtain. He's dominated his whole football career, man. Back in high school, he was a baller. We know his background. We know who his father is and everything. So let's just talk shop. We're just going to hop right into it. Look, the list of positives for this kid are just, it would be a long video if I told you everything I liked about this kid. But, instincts, technique, knowledge for the game, and his athleticism, he's got it all. He's definitely got it all. His patience at the line of scrimmage, thing of beauty. I mean, wide receivers could literally try to do the cha-cha slide, and Surtain is just unfazed. You know what I'm saying? Until the hips tell him where to go, Surtain is sitting where he is, and he's watching those hips, which is just crazy to watch, especially he was doing it as a freshman. It's not like it just happened in 2020. He's been doing it his whole college career against great talent. And then his littler things that I think don't get picked up as much was just like his ability to communicate on the fly. It was very apparent that he knew what was going on. He was able to read the offense prior to the play, which is huge. It just goes into his knowledge of the game. He's just there. He's fully there. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I shouldn't even say this for cornerbacks anymore, unfortunately, but like he got to work on his tackling. He's definitely got to, work on just wrapping up, getting those bigger guys down. But I feel like you can say that about every single cornerback in this draft and a lot of cornerbacks that are in the league, to be honest. But it is what it is. He can learn. It is what it is. So the other weakness that I know a lot of people were talking about was his top end speed, and being able to really cover those fast wide receivers at the next level. I mean, he ran a 4.46. I know we're all a little bit skeptical on these 40-yard dashes. It is what it is. I ran my 4.1 the other day. The tapes just weren't on. But hey, he put a 4.46 out there. His cone drills were good. Everything like that was good on paper, and in gym shorts. It is what it is. He looks like he can move around pretty well. So that was a concern. But I feel like that's something that maybe he, deaded at the combine or his workouts, whatever you want to call them. Like I said, I feel like Surtain's weaknesses, they're just all physical stuff. Like, can he run fast with the fast guys? Can he stick with the taller guys? Can he stick with the guys that are really shifty without having the hand check? I think that he can, you know what I'm saying? I think those are all small things that with coaching and with scheme and with reps, I think you'll learn, what the referees let you get away with. Because, at the end of the day, I said this for Jaycee Horn, I'm going to say it for Patrick Surtain. This day and age, there's so many rules for wide receivers to get the upper hand. You got to find little ways to kind of get by, and he finds them. So, look, Patrick Surtain is a dog. He's an absolute dog. So I guess the only question really becomes is who is better, right? Or who should we pick? I feel like the who's better part is a lot harder to answer than the who we should pick. I feel like Jaycee Horn, how do I put this? I love what Jaycee Horn can become. I love what Patrick Surtain is right now. I feel like after nitpicking the tape and everything, Surtain is just a little bit more NFL ready right now. Like Jaycee Horn may be the better of the two in a year or two, or even halfway through the season or something. But I think there's going to be a learning curve for him, especially depending on the defense that he's going to be thrown into. So that's a big part of it as well. We got to know what scheme he's going to be in. I feel like Patrick Surtain, you throw him in man coverage, you throw him in zone. I've seen him be elite at both. His list of things he needs to work on are very manageable. I think way more manageable. And I'm not trying to knock Jaycee Horn. Like I said, I think he's a great player as well. But I think Jaycee Horn would have a learning curve. Patrick Surtain might have a smaller one. I'm not going to say he's going to go out there and be an all-pro his first game, but I think it'll be a smaller one. I think he can go out there and be a better player. So I guess it's like, do you take the ceiling? Do you bet on somebody's ceiling, or do you take the better player right now? My decision, realistically, I'm going to say take the better player right now, who I think is Patrick Surtain. I'm going to keep on saying this. I think Jaycee Horn is an animal, and wherever he goes, I think he might go before we even pick. So it is what it is. But wherever he goes, I think that he'll be a great player. But I do think he's a gamble. I know people love to throw out these weird little comparisons. So I'm going to throw mine out there. All right. I'm going to say Patrick Surtain reminds me of a guy that he said that he emulates his game after, and that's Tre'Davious White. Okay, and I'm not saying he's going to be Tre'Davious White, but Tre'Davious White is damn near unstoppable in man. And I feel like that's how Patrick Surtain is. I feel like a lot of people were questioning Tre'Davious White's top end speed and stuff like that, but he gets by being knowledgeable and knowing how to run the routes for the wide receivers. So like I said, I'm not saying he's going to become Tre'Davious White, but he has that same skill set. Now Jaycee Horn, he reminds me a little bit of Jalen Ramsey. Again, not saying he's going to be Jalen Ramsey, but he's a man beast. Great at both of these guys are incredible at man. Doesn't really do much, zone coverage. I mean, you don't really see Jalen Ramsey out there in zone coverage 90% of you see him playing man mostly. Not saying that he can't, but and they just don't get the interceptions that you probably want to see. I think Jaycee Horn had 2 in 2020, but other than that, the other 2 years he didn't have 1. So maybe he learns to be a little bit more of a ball hawk, but those are my comparisons. I just had to do that. But you guys let me know what you think. Other than that, you know what it is. It is Fly Eagles Fly, and we are out here. Peace.
Yeah, Fly Eagles Fly on the team. Touchdown. Time to get Jaylen this ring. You don't really want to start a thing. This a bird game nation, baby. It's a Philly thing. Hater, and you looking like you type trash. I'm just here calling on Philly the podcast. And we can call a man dog, or watch Miles score off the handoff. Rest of the division, your man Saul Jackson like Sean, hunting like Randolph. Season here, early time to do him in. Your boy Philly Fresco, thanks for tuning in.